Dragon Ball Z, one of the most influential anime series of all time. Spanning 291 episodes, 15 films, over 50 video games, and a cult following like no other, Dragon Ball Z still remains one of the beloved entries in Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball lore. But when the series ended in Japan in 1996 and the English dub version in 2005, fans thought it was the end of an era. Its follow-up, Dragon Ball GT, which was made without Toriyama's involvement, left a very bitter taste in the mouths of fans as they only had the C series and the first 13 films to hold on to. Now, fast forward to 2012, just 17 years after the last film, Wrath of the Dragon, fans worldwide rejoiced after learning the new film was announced. In March of the following year, Dragon Ball Z, The Battle of Gods, was released in theaters in Japan and an English dub version in North America in August that same year. Picking up where the Kid Buu saga left off, the Earth was in peace once again after the defeat of Majin Buu, thanks to the heroic main character Goku. That was until somewhere in the farthest reach of the universe, Beerus, the god of destruction, has awakened from his long slumber after dreaming of fighting a fabled legend known as the Super Saiyan God. After learning from Whis, the god of creation, and Beerus' valet, that the galactic tyrant Frieza was defeated by Goku, the two venture off to track down Goku at King Kai's planet near Earth. Accepting the Destruction God's challenge, Goku goes Super Saiyan level 3, but ultimately defeated by Beerus. Dissatisfied, both Beerus and Whis travel to Earth to seek stronger opponents and to find answers to the fabled Super Saiyan God. The two gods made their presence on Earth after crashing Bulma's 38th birthday party, where Goku's friends and family are in attendance, including Vegeta. Their arrival came with the most peaceful intentions. Things took an ugly turn when Beerus threatens to destroy the planet, and the Seafires forced to take action before Goku arrives before discovering the legend of the Super Saiyan God, which leads to the climactic battle to save Earth. Battle of Gods is without a shadow of a doubt a love letter to fans of Dragon Ball Z worldwide, and the film exceeded my expectations. Looking past the campiness from some of the comedic moments from the second act of the film, the action and fight scenes reminded me why Dragon Ball Z is undeniably awesome. Rashan Shembo, Christopher Sabat, Kyle Hubert, and many others reprised their roles for the Funimation English dub. It was a satisfying feat to have the gang come back together again at the end of Dragon Ball GT. The two new characters, Beerus and Whis, were respectively voiced by Jason Douglas and Ian Sinclair in the Funimation dub, are in my opinion surprisingly likable characters despite being the main antagonists for the film. Both serve as the comic relief that makes up for where the fuck Vegeta was doing. I mean, seriously, Vegeta throwing away his own dignity to stay on Beerus' good side was cringeworthy. Ugh. Well, not as bad as, well, you know. Not to give too much away for those who didn't see Battle of Gods, but there were a few plot twists here and there that were somewhat predictable, especially if you watch Dragon Ball GT, but the events in the third act managed to keep things interesting. As far as the final battle between Goku and Beerus, it was mind-blowing. Use of CG background during the fight scene was well done, though I admittedly missed the traditional art style from the series' fight moments. Overall, Battle of Gods is a must-watch for Dragon Ball fans everywhere. With the worldwide success of Battle of Gods, leads to a follow-up sequel, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, also known as Dragon Ball Z Fukkastu no F in Japan. Released on April 2005 in Japanese theaters and a dub limited release in the US on August that same year, the film marks the return of the most dangerous villain of the Dragon Ball universe, Frieza. So what happens when the leader of what's left of Frieza's armies had the Pellek trio to collect the Dragon Balls and summon Sharon? Well, if you don't know that answer, After reading the titles, he was gracing the center of the movie poster, promo art, and home release covers. You should stop watching this video right now. Turn off your computer, tablet, smartphone, or wherever the hell you're watching this from. Take your ass in the corner and start thinking about your life. Seriously. But I digress. Frieza, the galaxy's greatest overlord, returns to take his revenge on Goku and the Z Fighters and on Earth. While on the far distant planetary home of Beerus and Whis, Goku and Vegeta train with the god of creation to reach new levels of strength. Upon sensing Frieza's return and his 1,000-man army invades Earth, the Z Fighters Gohan, Krillin, Master Roshi, Tien, and Jaco defend the planet. When Frieza made short work on the Z Fighters, Goku and Vegeta rise for one final showdown. Aside from the very comical moments from Beerus and the Pellek trio, Resurrection F has way more action than the previous film. For the Z Fighter kicking ass against Frieza's 1,000-man army, to Master Roshi kicking ass as well, to Frieza's blank out transformation, which is called Golden Frieza, our original. And the icing on the cake, Goku and Vegeta go Super Saiyan Blue, which is an improvement from Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan in my honest opinion. I tried saying that shit 5 times in a row. In addition to the Japanese and English dub Funimation cast reprising their roles once again, Chris Aries also returns as the English dub voice of Frieza. With the over-the-top action and almost epic showdown between our two Saiyan heroes and Golden Frieza, Resurrection F is as good as Battle of Gods. That being almost. Not to give away any spoilers, but the final minutes of the movie display a few cop-outs that left me scratching my head in confusion, which kills it for me. While it's not as predictable as Battle of Gods, there were some moments that even I saw coming. Regardless, Resurrection F is worth watching, and also worth checking out, if I may add. Now before I end the episode, let's recap. Battle of Gods was a hell of a way to continue the DBZ lore where it left off. Despite the predictable moments, new characters, and a return of old favorites, the action of the third act made this movie worth checking out. That said, Battle of Gods is worth watching. As for Dragonball Z Resurrection F, it's decent. While it has more action compared to the previous film, some moments, including parts of the final minutes of the third act, left me disappointed. Also, FYI, both films will be a part of the ongoing series Dragonball Super as separate arcs. So if you haven't watched the series before the new films, I suggest you do so you know what to expect. And that's about does it for this episode of TRIBALCHILD TV. What do you think of both Dragon Ball Z movies? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Also, the next episode, which is the season finale, I'll be reviewing Kill la Kill. Make sure to subscribe to be the first to see it. Until next time, this is the one and only ADtheTRIBALCHILD. Keep it locked, and I'll see you all next time. Hey everybody, it's the TRIBALCHILD once again. Thanks for your patience and of course watching this episode of TRIBALCHILD TV. Sorry it took so long to get this episode published, but I'm back and ready to get the ball rolling again. Unfortunately, a little bit of bad news. The season finale, which I reviewed Kill la Kill, will be pushed back next week on Patreon and on YouTube the week after. It's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, so bear with me everybody. That said, check out the ADTC Productions website and on social media for updates. Until then, keep it locked, and thanks for watching.